It's currently 8:15 in the morning. Today is going to be a pretty busy day. I'm going to be at work placement and I'll be there for a good 7 hours or so. I didn't do a vlog yesterday because I didn't go to the doctors because I slept in, and the doctors it's a walk-in doctor and they only see I think 40 people, so if you miss it by even a few minutes, they'll see all 40 people and that's it, because of the doctors and how much strain and everything. So I'm gonna go to the doctors tomorrow instead. I am going to take you through what I've eaten today, mainly at home, because I'm not gonna show you during placement because that's not professional. And I'll tell you more about like what I do at placement and why I have to do placement later on in the vlog whenever I'm just at home sitting down relaxing. So I'm going to do my hair properly. It needs brushed, I need to put it up in a ponytail, and I need to have my breakfast and make up my lunch. So I'll take you through that. For my lunch, I'm having what I always have. My oatmeal that I made the night before, and 2 slices of toast with some avocado and nutritional yeast. And for my lunch, I'm having this Veggie bowl, Moroccan tagine. I really like this stuff, and you can put it in the microwave, and we have a microwave at work placement, so that's why I'm having that. These are my lunch slash snacks, so if I get a little bit hungry, I have an apple. These Sunbites, which are really good if you like crisps but you want to eat a healthier option, because they're whole grain and they have more fiber. And some pine nuts, 15 grams of pine nuts. I know a serving's like 25, but I think with everything else, if I have less, then I'll make it more balanced. That's what the product looks like. It has edamame beans, peppers, lentils, eggplant. It has some chickpeas as well. I think it has some kidney beans as well. It's really nice. It's kind of spicy, but not too much. And it's very filling. I recommend it. So I'm home from work placement, and today is the day I feed my geckos. So I'm going to show you what I do every other day whenever I feed both of them. I'm not going to hold both of them because one's asleep. So if he will allow me, I will hold him and then let you see him. So the first thing I do, I know the lighting's really bad, but if I have the torch on, I'll annoy him and they can't blink, so I don't want to shine really bright light. The first thing I do is I take their food, this is Evie's food, and I put it upside down inside the tank because it's a live planted tank. He ate pretty much all of it. Really proud of him. He's a bigger one, so of course he's gonna eat the most. I'm gonna give them watermelon mango food. So both of them get around half a teaspoon each. I put them in this. Using a milk lid helps you monitor like whenever they eat, especially if they're very small or brand new, then you can tell whether or not they're eating anything. But the reason why I put the milk lids upside down in the tank is because I have a bioactive tank, so I have like little isopods, springtails, I have worms in there as well that eat the leftover food. So I'll spray some water. So the food is roughly this consistency. It's like ketchup, and it's easy for them to eat, I guess. My girl likes her food thicker than my boy, but both get the exact same amount. And I will get him out, and then once I put him back in, I'll show you his tank in full. Here's my boy. He might jump. No? He is a Harlequin pinstripe, blonde Harlequin pinstripe. He's such a beautiful boy, it won't focus. There we go. He's the biggest. I've had him for over a year, but he'll be 2 years in March. Won't you, baby? I'm gonna hold him for a bit, and then I'll show you my girl. Look at him. He's so beautiful. You're so beautiful. So this is his tank in full. He has a coconut hide that he doesn't ever use, but he does have a cork hollow that he usually hides in. His food dish, a hammock, some branches, all that stuff. But he's in a 45 by 45 by 60 Exoterra. Girl is a lot smaller because she's itty bitty. And she is in her coconut hide sleeping. Yeah, there she is. But I don't obviously want to shine the light on her. But there she is. She is my beautiful girl. But she is a Halloween Harlequin, which means she's orange and black. But I don't want to get her out there. But yeah, she's been sleeping in her coconut hide a lot lately, actually. So I'm going to spray both of their tanks down, and then I'm going to maybe like relax for a little bit, and then I'll make my dinner. So, and I'll show you what I'm making, along with my breakfast, what I make every night for my breakfast. One important thing I do before I leave the geckos is I always record what they eat. So I feed them every other day. So it's February 13th. And they both got watermelon and mango. And what I usually do is I'll write it in black if both of them get the exact same thing. If Willow gets one thing, which is my boy, it gets written down in green. And if Evie, my girl, gets something different, it gets written down in purple. Another thing that I do, this can be really helpful for if you weigh your gecko regularly and they put on a lot of weight, then you can look back and see if you fed them their favorite food, and that could be why they gained so much. It's because they ate their favorite food. But one thing I do also, which is very important, is I weigh them out. So March 15th he was 13 grams, then 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, and then my girl, July 31st, that was the day I adopted her, she was 11. He's went up to 25, 29, 32, 34, 33. They usually lose weight, mine do anyway, in December, and then now they're 35. And she went from 11, 12, 15, 18, 20, 19 to 23. So he is considered an adult crested gecko. He's male. He's not a fully grown adult though. Males are considered adult whenever they're 20 grams. Females are considered adult whenever they're 30 grams. And the reason why that is because that is the healthiest time for them to breed, if you're planning on breeding them. Because breeding, when it comes to the female, is really, really hard on the girl. And so you need to be really careful. And she needs to be bigger so that she can lay the eggs without any dire consequences. But also, if the male's trying to mate with her, she can fight him off in a way, because males will pester and pester and pester the female. Oh, also, if the male is bigger than the male will try to either kill her or eat her. It can happen, it has happened, it happens in the wild, so that's why their weight signifies their sexual maturity, not their age. So I'm going to make my dinner, and I will show you what I'm going to make. So I'm going to show you what I do when I make my oatmeal in the morning. So I have Delicious Jumbo Oats. These are just natural loose oats I got from Lidl. I don't recommend getting the prepackaged oatmeal because you can get excess sugar. So I start with putting 2 scoops of this in my bowl. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. A tablespoon of flax seeds. A tablespoon of sunflower seeds. A teaspoon of this choc chick raw cacao powder. I got this at Home Barrett. It's dairy, sugar, gluten, and guilt-free. It's a little bit healthier than the cocoa butter, and it's a little bit richer in flavor. Half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And I mix it up. Once that is all incorporated, I add a teaspoon of this pip and nut coconut almond butter. You can use any nut butter you want. The only one I don't really like is the peanut butter. So I usually add about this much. This adds protein. It makes it a little bit thicker and creamier and adds a little bit of extra flavor. And the cinnamon and the cocoa powder kind of makes it taste like a cinnamon bun. Next, I add a handful of blueberries. And the scales are always on for this one, so this would be 30 grams of blueberries. Blueberries are really high in antioxidants. They're very low on sugar too, so if you don't like to start your day with a lot of sugar, and I don't because then I just get hungry throughout the day, blueberries are a really good fruit to add. And then I take the oatmeal scoop and I add some pomegranate seeds. Pomegranate seeds add a really lovely, juicy little bite to the oatmeal, and they're kind of like, they have the juiciness of a grape, but the sourness of a Granny Smith apple. So I would recommend giving them a try. They're really nice. And then the only thing I need to add now is the milk and the water. And so the last thing I do is add water till it reaches to about here. And that way it makes it, in the morning, it's not too thick to the point where I can't eat it. Then I heat it up in the microwave for 3 minutes, and it's the perfect consistency to me. Looks like it's really liquidy, but as you saw this morning, it gets significantly thicker, and that's why I add the water to it. That way I'm not adding too much milk, especially if the milk I'm using is has a lot of sugar in it. The milk I used 2 scoops of this innocent unsweetened almond milk because I ran out. And the other 2 is this cocoa dairy free, no added sugar, unsweetened. So I've never had this before. We'll see how it goes. So that is how I make my breakfast. And I have this every morning. And I really love it. Get this little jar. I got this jar at Tesco's. This thing was only like £2. And away into the fridge it goes. So for my dinner, what I'm planning on having is a lentil bolognese. So I have this can of lentils, which I'm obviously not going to have the whole thing of. Some whole wheat pasta, half of a white onion, a garlic bulb. I'm going to use maybe 4 cloves. These vegetarian sausages from Linda McCartney, there's 2 left. And the sausages and the lentils will add a lot of protein. This dolmio, tomato and basil pasta sauce to mix in. And then for seasoning, I'm going to add some paprika, Italian herb, and a little bit of onion and garlic granules. Even though I have onion and garlic in it, sometimes the onion and garlic don't really show up because I don't cook it in any oil or anything like that. So, and that is about it. Oh, and of course salt and pepper. So that is what I'm gonna have my dinner. I will show you the end result. So this is the final result. I ended up adding some a half of an orange bell pepper. I did add a little bit too much liquid, but just a little bit, and then I topped it off with some nutritional yeast. And we'll see how it tastes. It looks really good, actually. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So I ended up going to placement today. Every Wednesday it is mandatory for me to go to work placement for my animal care course. I'm working currently at a dog grooming parlor, and in total you need to complete 150 hours. Otherwise you can't complete the course. And so far I've done 119 and a half. So I actually like it a lot more than I thought I would. Right now, at the beginning all I did was wash and brush up. Then I wash, blow dried, brushed up. Now I wash, blow dry, brush up, and trim tails and cut nails, as if the dogs are cooperative enough. Obviously, if they're struggling too much, then the professional groomers will do it for me. That way I don't either injure myself or injure the dog. But not last week, but the week before was eventful because I turned a dog blue by accident. One of the Bichons needed a whitening treatment. He was very, very big, and the shower head wouldn't produce any warm water at all, and I obviously didn't want to rinse him in cold water, so he turned blue. It sat for too long, and it was an event. It was an event. And today I wasn't in last week. I had to deal with family problems last week, but we had to deal with a huge West Highland Terrier. And he was huge. It took 2 of us to bathe him, and it took 4 of us to dry him and brush him. He started drying at around 11 a.m. He wasn't fully dry until like 3, I think. That was just drying. He didn't really need much grooming. He just needed his face and his feet done. We brushed out his mats, all that stuff. He had really thick fur. And then we also had a cat, and we had a Persian, I think she was. But she had, I've never dealt with a cat before at a grooming parlor, but she just needed shaved. You don't wash them unless necessary. She was such a sweet girl. Such a sweet girl. But tomorrow, I was planning going yesterday, but I slept in. I'm going to go to the doctor's tomorrow and find out if I can do anything that can help me learn more about losing weight, or learn more about my thyroid condition, which I'm going to do a video on its own, because hypothyroidism is more than just not being able to lose weight or gaining too much weight. There's so much more to it. And I don't want to have the thyroid as an excuse, because I have lost weight before, with that, and without help either. But this time around I want to have doctor's advice, and I want to see if I can go and see a dietitian, or if I need to take more or less levothyroxine hormone, because I do need to take regular blood tests about every 6 months or so, and they test my thyroid, and they say either stay on the dose, lower it, raise it, all that stuff. But in the past, every time I've gone down, they've just told me to diet and exercise, and I wouldn't be down there if I wanted that answer. There's more to it than that. There's even more to it than people who don't have hypothyroidism. It's all up here. It's all mental. And you need to try and develop healthy eating habits that are sustainable. That means not restricting, not starving yourself, not exercising too much to the point where you're exhausted, or the point where you collapse, not drinking enough, all of that. So I'm going to do a video on that tomorrow, whenever I get the results back. and it should be interesting. It should be interesting. But more on my animal care course. What we do is we have 7 units, and no, we have 8 units, and so far I've completed 4, I think. Yeah, I only need to do unit 208, 203, 204, and 206. 208 is establishments, so kennels, grooming parlors, sanctuaries. 203 is animal welfare and like an animal husbandry, like how to take care of an animal. 204 is work placement, and 206 is animal behavior. So, I'm really enjoying it. There are a few hiccups along the way, but there's hiccups everywhere. I do find it a bit too easy, but it is only level 2, and I think it's because we do get a lot of guidance, and we do finish things very quickly. And when it comes to my future, that I've been thinking about a lot, is whether or not to do level 3 or level 5. I don't know. I've done a level 3 course before, and that's why the tutors are suggesting that I do a level 5, because it doesn't make any sense to do level 3, then 2, then 3 again. But I don't know whether or not I will be able to deal with a level 5 going straight from a level 2, if that makes sense. But I am going to attempt a level 5, by all means, but I just don't know whether or not I'm going to do it immediately after level 2. So that should be interesting, but I will do a little bit more on what I learn at college later on in another video. But right now I'm going to go to bed. I am tired, and I'm going to record a little bit tomorrow in the doctor's office. I'm not gonna sit there and record everything, obviously, and then I will get back to you on what they say, or what he or she or whoever, and whether or not they're going to send me to a dietitian, send me to a psychologist, whatever they're going to do, or whether or not they just told me to diet and exercise again. I hope they don't, because that would be really annoyed. So, but that's the whole reason why I'm doing these vlogs, is so that I can, if I'm getting frustrated, I can look back and I can keep this as a motivation. I can keep this as a video diary, and it doesn't matter how many people watch it, it will always be there, and it will always be used as a tool, because then especially if I've lost a little bit and I don't notice, I can see it in my face, or I can see it in my body. And I hope that these types of videos help you as well, no matter who you are or where you are. And I'm trying to make them as less YouTube-like as possible. As comfortable and realistic as possible. So, I am going to be working on the quality, though. So, bear with me. I will see you in the next video. And thank you for watching. And bye-bye.